Hey, I've recently come across the concept of a Galactic Council, where elevated beings of the highest order sit and decide what souls or light beings or, well, finally humans and other creatures should be doing to raise the consciousness of the universe. Is that a thing? A council where creatures that emit light and golden auras sit around and decide the fate of the universe. Well, in this book that I've been reading recently, that is exactly what's been happening. And allegedly, this book is stating facts and not a fantasy story. But of course, it sounds very far out there. I'm aware it's just a thought experiment that we're having here. What could be the reason for that? Well, one of the reasons might be that the universe itself is a conscious being. Some call it God, some call it the source, but apparently, allegedly, it learns through us. It learns through splitting itself into billions and trillions of pieces, souls, and each of these souls has its own mind, its own will, and free will is very important here in the universe, apparently. And then they go off and live through adventures and experience things. And then after they die, they transition back to Source, and Source gets that information. A very interesting concept, I think. It would make sense to learn that way. It would be easier. You would make sure that every part of you learns different things, and they put this layer of forgetfulness or amnesia upon you when you come into a lower density realm like Earth, for example, in order to not be compromised with higher density knowledge. Because why would you act a certain way if you were elevated to a level where you don't react aggressively, for example, or something like that? And you wouldn't get into situations where you actually learn lessons. But as a human, we are wild, we are aggressive, we do terrible things to each other, and that way we also put ourselves in situations where we maybe have remorse, where we learn from our mistakes. And if you were, well, a being of the highest order, you probably wouldn't have any reason to do that, and you would probably not be in that situation in the first place. So that is my theory on it, at least. That might be true, might not be true. But is there something like a council, and what are the reasons? Well, the reason could be that it is easier if you are connected very closely with Source to see the entire plan. Because imagine having to guide billions and trillions of souls in a way that they learn exactly what is necessary to elevate the consciousness of everything as a whole, of the universe. How complicated that would be. They would need the brain of 1,000 supercomputer AIs, of 1,000 super intelligence AIs, or more, trillions of them. It's impossible to imagine. And to be able to do that, you would have to be a being that could split itself and stretch time in a way that you have all of eternity. You would have to be the eternal yourself to be able to do that. At least that's what they describe in this book that I've been reading. These beings are connected to something called Christ consciousness, where the leader is the being known as Jesus Christ that came to Earth to guide humanity back in the day. Believe that or not. Some call it something else, but in this book they called it Jesus Christ. And the Christ consciousness is the highest level of consciousness, where you are connected with the eternal, where you know and see everything. We have eternal wisdom as well. And if you are such a being, then it would make sense that you would be able to steer everything in a direction where people and souls evolve, also in a way that the universe evolves itself. So, yeah, if I know, very complicated, very far out concept, but what do you think about that? Let me know. Bye.